Hello, everyone. I am Maria, and I'm the admin of the Money Making Esthetician. And today we are joined with.
Hi, I am Jessica Leigh. I work with XO8 Cosmeceuticals as their business development manager. So I work with them. They're a skincare company. We'll kind of dive into more about them. But I also am a licensed esthetician, and I own my own spa that I've owned for 14 years this month. And I mentor women in all walks of life, but I absolutely love working with estheticians and helping them to grow their business.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I feel like you have such a unique story because you live in one place, but you have a spa in another. And I feel like that really gets to showcase like what we're able to do in our industry if we learn it correctly and we to manage it and build our teams properly.
Yep, absolutely agree with that. And that's exactly why I entered the whole world of skincare and aesthetics, was to have flexibility. And it's just really crazy that all these years later, that flexibility is 100% like the most amazing part of my job, is that I can still have this incredible thriving business and live in another state.
It's a Zoom.
Let me see.
Trying to grow your.
Let me mute.
We're getting another one.
Hi, Andrea, if you're please mute your phone.
That's a nice one.
Like participants. There we go.
There we go.
Perfect. So first we want to start off with what is XO8 Beauty. So I have fallen in love with XO8 Beauty. It looks like such a lavish product where it looks like there's no way I could afford this when I first opened the packaging, but it is so affordable and it works so well with like microcurrents and all the beautiful things. We posted something earlier in the group with a microcurrent, and everybody was like, "This is XO8 Beauty! Oh my gosh!"
Yeah, it's such an incredible line. So it's XO8 Cosmeceuticals, and they are a luxury mask and serum line. And you're so right, Maria, like the packaging and just the way even the sample kit comes is so luxurious, so beautiful. But the best part is the results are there. It's really a line that is curated to step up what you're already doing in your treatment room and really get your clients incredible results and help your clients to see the benefits of retail. So when they get these incredible results, they're so driven and motivated to maintain them at home. And the XO8 retail does so well with clients.
How did you become, how do we become a wholesale provider? And then also, how did you come across XO8 Beauty?
So I actually, such a funny story. One of my clients who just fell in love with skincare, she ended up going to school and getting licensed as an esthetician. And it was such a cool thing because I was able to mentor her and kind of take her under my wing. She became like my lead esthetician, top sales, and really just thriving in the industry. And she actually found XO8 at one of the expos, like at one of the trade shows. And she came in, and I just happened to not go to that particular event. I had already started having babies and wasn't going to as many of the hands-on, the trade shows and the different events that they have for the industry. And she came rushing into my room, like, I'll never forget the day. And she's like, "You have to carry this. You have to sell this." I'm like, "Okay, well, what is it? Tell me about it." She's like, "I don't know, but it's gold. It's amazing." Like, she didn't know a lot of the facts about the ingredients yet, but she had actually purchased some at the show and had been using it for 2 weeks. And just her results in that time frame, she was hooked. And she was in her 50s, and she's like, "This is a game changer." So I immediately contacted the company. The owner, Rose, is just phenomenal, was able to talk with her about the products, the ingredients, and here we are. I now, not only carry XO8 in my treatment room, I have for the last 4 years, but I also work with the company because I love them that much. Like, I literally love what they're doing. I love their products. I love that they are so there to help the solo as well as the established spa. So it's a really unique angle that the business is so supportive of us as the esthetician. And so to become a premier provider, that's what we call our wholesale professionals. So to become a premier provider, you just go to XO8cosmeceuticals.com, and there's a link. You'll just click the link that says become premier provider. And it's super easy to fill out your information. upload a copy of your license, your resale certificate. If you don't have your resale certificate yet, you can email us and we can help you with that. And if you're a student, you actually can get a wholesale account as well. So you would just upload your kind of certificate or something showing that you're enrolled in beauty school right now, in esthetician school. And you can upload that in both the license portion as well as the resale certificate, and we will approve you to have an account. And there's so much education on there that if you're new and you're looking to expand your knowledge, I highly recommend you go check out the wholesale account. There's a whole portal with education and marketing tools.
Are we able to add the link in the chat?
Yeah, I absolutely can. Let's see. Or one of my girls.
I will add it into the event page and pin it to the top of the group.
Yes, that's perfect. That's so perfect. We'll add it in there. And anybody who has questions, feel free to send me a message. Super, inviting and welcoming to you reaching out if you have any questions, how to create an account, or if you have questions on the line at all.
So I love XO8 Beauty. It's like such a beautiful, like luxurious looking product. How to incorporate it in the treatment room? Because a lot of the demographics that we have, and me, like one of the reasons why I feel like I kind of take the estheticians through like their journey. So one of the things that's a little bit intimidating when bringing on a new product, it's like, okay, I have it here. Now what? So basically the protocol, like cleanse, exfoliate, yada, yada, yada,
Yeah, absolutely. So we can walk through that. And just so everyone knows that we have a really incredible protocol booklet that you'll get with your first order. And that's so nice to keep like in your drawer of your trolley or just in your treatment room to reference. So that's a really great tool for you. But as far as the basics, XO8 is really curated to work with anything you're already doing in your treatment room. So we have protocols for nano infusion, dermaplaning, microneedling. You can actually use microcurrent right over our 24 karat gold masks. So that's really unique in itself. Not only is it just a beautiful facial to look at and get before and after photos and to even take a video to promote your business, but the results are incredible and the client loves the way it feels, smells, just every aspect of XO8 has been customized to really make the experience for your client that much more luxurious. So it's really great that you can get all these great photos, you get all these great before and afters, but the best part is your client's super happy and they really love the results. So kind of a basic concept of a facial, like let's say I was doing a nano infusion facial. I would do my double cleanse. I personally like to do a light peel at that point. Obviously, everything is customized to the client and their skin type, but I tend to do like a lactic peel or a mandelic at this point. And then I would do my neutralizing solution to make sure all of the peel is neutralized. And then I go ahead and put down one of the XO8 elixirs. So they have different serums that are meant to be used as treatment serums in your protocol. So I would pick one based on the client's skin type, and we walk you through that and really make sure you know how to pick which product. So it's really seamless for you. And then I use their placenta peptide complex. I actually have one right here. So it looks like this, has a little dropper top that goes on top of it. And I use that as my glide medium with nano infusion. And the results are incredible in one treatment. So I use that. I personally use Regenerate. I do the nano infusion, and then I always put on an XO8 mask. And we have 3 face masks that I would customize the treatment based on the client, their skin type, and then really circling back around to the consultation and what their goals are with their skin. I'm able to customize which mask is going to help them to achieve their goals. So it's a really beautiful treatment. At that point, you can do microcurrent over top. You can do even the cool beauty globes right over top. You can massage over the top. You can do LED over the top of the mask. So there's a lot of different ways at that point to really customize the treatment. And then I even sometimes will do the neck mask. So we have really incredible neck masks with XO8, and you can put that neck mask on right after the peel portion. And the whole time that you're working on the face, the neck mask is already doing its thing. So it's a really nice way to up level the results for the client, but you're also able to add more value and a higher profit margin in that same time frame. So you're taking your same hour facial, but adding on that neck, which is a nice upgrade.
So for those who don't know, what are the nano infusion good for? Like skin concerns. So if somebody, is it like acne scars, like what is it good for?
I really love the nano infusion because you can customize which serum you're using to target different skin concerns. So I don't work over, like if somebody has a lot of acne and they have a lot of breakouts, I'm not going to do the nano over anything that's like an open wound. But for any scarring, it's really great for pigmentation, really great for hydrating the skin. So somebody who wants that like red carpet glow, or maybe they have an event coming up, this is a really great way to infuse that serum so much deeper into the skin to really compound the client's results. So not only are we just putting on these great serums and they're sitting on the surface of the skin, but we're able to really infuse them deep into the skin to get even more results.
Okay. What I also would like to add is, because I know we had sent it, it was that like beginner packet, that like first one that I feel like was so cool.
The sample kit, the
The
one that you got?
Yes.
Yeah, so the sample kit is really unique with XO8. And, you know, I say all this from somebody who carried the line prior to working with them. So this isn't like oh my gosh, buy it, I work for them, they're amazing. This is like a genuine, you know, I was in your shoes first and trying the products first before I worked with them. And the sample kit is unique because it comes with all full-size serums. And I really love that. And I can't stress enough the importance of taking some of that serum and trying it on your own skin at home. I'm such a big advocate of us as the esthetician, as the professional, really trying out the products before we launch them in our spa. So I have clients who will call and they're like, I want everything. I want to place this big order. And I love that. And that's exciting. But I always encourage them, try it out first. And then we can really curate what's going to be the best custom order for your launch order once you've tried the sample kit and you know what products are going to be the best for your specific clientele. So the sample kit's great. They do a promotion where it's free shipping. It's only $139 to get four masks. You're getting the 3 face masks, the 1 neck mask to try. You're also getting 1 of each serum in the full size and that full placenta peptide complex, which is the product that I use with my nano infusion. You can use it with dermaplaning. You can use that with LED, microcurrent. It's a very universal product. And that all comes in the full size bottles. So that way you can really experience it as opposed to just like a mini sample that you try 3 times and you're like, I don't know if I really liked it. You know, you don't have enough to really experience it.
Totally. So now we're here. How does somebody begin like working with them if they're interested?
Yeah, if somebody's interested, I recommend creating that Premier Provider account. Again, there's no charge for doing that. When you log in, and I'm actually going to make a video today for you, Maria, that we can post that'll show exactly how to create the account. But once you log in, you have the option to go to the wholesale shop, and that's where you'll find all of our wholesale products and all the pricing and all of XO8 pricing, especially on our masks. The more you purchase, the lower, excuse me, the lower the price per item. So if you buy a 5-pack or a 10-pack, you're going to pay less for the 10. We also have 25 packs and even larger for somebody who really wants to carry the line and bring in a ton of masks. We do custom orders that drop the price per mask down for you. So again, I love that because XO8 is really looking out for us as the esthetician and helping us to increase our profit margin.
So I did want to show a little bit of the mask. So this is what you get. I don't know if you can see it because it's the blur screen, but
it's so beautiful.
Samples. This is in the samples. Like a whole pack of these is in the sample. And then I already used everything. So
I love it. Good for you. That's what I love to hear.
It was nice. I'm actually thinking about bringing these on for Mother's Day. Because I feel like who doesn't want to add a neck mask?
Absolutely. And the thing I love that you can do is you can, even if you're launching, we have a bundle where you can get the face and the neck mask, and the neck mask is almost free. Like they're a couple dollars each at the most. And when you do it that way, you can do a promotion where you sell the facial and you include the neck for a complimentary upgrade. And that's a really great promotion. But then once the client has the neck, they want it every time. So it doesn't cost you a lot, but it looks like this really nice gift you're giving your client, this complimentary neck treatment, and then they're obsessed and they want it every time. And there's not a lot of skincare lines out there that really have products that are focused for the neck area. So I really love marketing that, especially for Mother's Day. I think that's awesome.
I love that. Oh my gosh, we're already there. We're already almost in May.
I know, right?
Everything that I always hear is always like adding more value to the facial versus discounts. What do you think about that?
I love that concept. I personally, at my spa, we do a initial visit, we do like a new client special, and that's a little discounted, but from there on, it's really our membership or added value, like what we're talking about with the neck treatment. So I love that added value. We even have, XO8 has these really great, it's hard to see on this video, but these are our sample size of the serums, or they can be used as travel size, which is what I just did. I was at a retreat last week and those were amazing to take with me. And I even have accounts that will do a promotion where they do the facial and then the client gets the free sample with it. So it really depends on how you structure, but I love the concept of adding value because it's adding value. Not only are you not discounting your service, but the client's getting to experience additional products or additional service, and then they end up falling in love with it. And if it's something you love, so like you, for example, we sent you the sample kit, you tried it, you love it. Not only is it easy to talk about to the client, but it really becomes something that's kind of built into your business when you really genuinely care about the products and the services that you're offering to your client.
Totally. So one of the things that I was also really excited about was to talk about the Legacy Collective, because I feel like you have such a unique way of doing things that I really haven't heard. And I like the fact that you kind of incorporate XO8 Beauty and then your spa, and it was just so fascinating to me. So I want to know why you started it and like how you started it. Who is it for obviously a lot of the estheticians that are in the industry have so many business questions. And that's why you see me tagging you, because I just feel like you are a wealth of resources, like so much of the business. So tell us a little bit more about the Legacy.
I just have to say thank you first. Like, thank you so much for acknowledging and seeing. And I love being in your group and answering as many questions as I can. I created the Legacy Collective because I wanted a place for estheticians who weren't in my direct world. So I've been mentoring, over 10 years. I've been hiring and training estheticians through my business. And I love that piece so much, but I realized it was, really kind of a small knit group of Esties because they had to be in San Diego. They had, they were working for me. And really, I wanted to branch out and be able to offer something to more women out there who are building their brands, building their business, and really wanting that balance of the home life as well. So I'm a really big proponent on building a business that doesn't just look good from the outside, but it also feels good. And you're not stressed out, you're not burnt out, you're not feeling like you're missing out on quality time with your family, your kids. And it doesn't mean I only work with moms, but I definitely love working with women who are planning for the future or maybe already have babies and they're trying to balance it all. And there's just not a lot of support, at least that I've found, for being this, badass business owner, excuse my language, but this like mom boss in the industry, but still making sure you have a good balance. And there's just not a lot of resources around it. So I'm passionate about helping women grow their business. And if they also have that family life, about really balancing that and feeling that they're getting everything that they want, like truly making your dreams come true is what my dream is to help you do that.
So I'm like, how do you make your dreams come true?
A lot of it is, yes, there's time management. Yes, there's like the business side of it. There's also learning what to outsource, like what doesn't feel good, what you don't love doing. Maybe you're not the best at it. There's certain things we can outsource as business owners. And I think a lot of times we kind of fall in this trap in the beginning, feeling like we have to do it all. But if you think of like a restaurant, like let's say like we all were a bunch of women who wanted to run restaurants, you would never be able to actually run the restaurant by yourself. But for some, you couldn't be the greeter, the hostess, the server, the cook, the person washing dishes, also doing all the shopping and ordering, that one person couldn't do that. But a lot of times in our industry, in the beauty space, we feel like we do have to do it all. And there's a season for that. Yes, where you put kind of the time in. But then I also really believe in working together, and whether that's sharing a suite and you guys work opposite hours, or building a business where you are hiring on staff, or even just outsourcing some of the things you don't love doing, like bookkeeping. You know, I used to spend in my business, I did all of that. And then as soon as I realized, like when I hired a payroll company and I hired a bookkeeper, I made more money in my treatment room during that time that I would have been doing the books, and was able to pay them and still make more money. And I was happier because I wasn't doing things that I didn't love doing. And I do have my business degree, and, you know, I love numbers in the business side, but I like looking at the numbers and planning and building. I don't love recording every expense from the week. So it's really kind of fine tuning what you love doing and where you can outsource. And in the beginning, you can't outsource necessarily everything. And that's not everybody's dream. You know, I didn't plan on being in my spa only 2 days a month like I have the last 18 months. It's just what worked out with my family life, and, you know, really wanting to lean into this mentorship and lean into working with XO8. So for me, things have changed a lot over 14 years, but there was a progression to get there, and to really be able to allow my business to run itself when I'm not in the building.
So who would you recommend does the Legacy Collection? Like who to join?
Yeah, so we have different programs that are really curated for everybody. So I have options for anybody who is seeking guidance, mentorship, who really, you know, this is kind of an all-inclusive program. This isn't just, you know, come in and only talk about your business. This is really come in and we can troubleshoot. And sometimes it's working through past traumas. Sometimes it's just really pulling the inner you and letting that person come out and shine. And a lot of times, again, we do things based on what we think we should be doing, what other people are doing. And that's not always the right answer for us as an individual. So I work with my clients to really pull out, what are your desires? Like, forget everybody else. And sometimes that includes like family or people who maybe have opinions on what you should be doing, but really working with the individual to decide, what is it that you're looking to grow? And let's put the steps in place, kind of like working backwards. So we really plan for the future of what your desires are. And then I can help you logistically with all the steps. And a huge piece is just staying consistent. And I think we all know that consistency is so important in building a business. It's important in everything. I mean, parenting, everything, consistency is really important, but it's not the easiest. We have so many distractions in today's world that working with a mentor can help to keep you on target with what your goals are. And it's kind of like us seeing, you know, a client sees us and we help keep them consistent with their skin and their routine, and what are their products at home, and how are they cleansing their face, and what facials are we doing? It's really the same thing, but from a business standpoint, of where I'm helping to keep you consistent and really looking at your day-to-day and helping you decipher what's working, what's not, how can we pivot, and what do we need to implement for you to really make your dreams a reality.
So if somebody's dream is to hit 6 figures, what would you tell them?
It's so attainable. Like, if you do the math backwards and you really look at, you know, 6 figures in a year, and the difference there is, do you want to bring in 6 figures gross, or do you want to make 6 figures? So that's, you know, something that we would look at. And if you want to generate 6 figures of profit, then you need to add into that 6 figures what your overhead is, and then divide that by the number of hours in the year that you're working. You know, and I don't believe in our industry, any of us need to be working 40, 50, 60 hours. I did in the beginning, you know, when I had a 7 treatment room spa and wasn't fully staffed, and I was working 7 days a week, but I learned through what I did that you don't have to do that. And now I kind of know the different tips and tricks in the industry to, you know, part of it is the whole charge your worth. And it's not just charge your worth, but it's really, what experience are you giving the client? What's the tangible that they're going to take away from this? And you're really selling the experience, you're selling the end result, and you definitely can charge more for that than just, oh, come in for a facial. And so when we really do this math and we work backwards and we incorporate lines like XO8, where there is, you know, XO8's a luxury line. It's definitely an investment to buy one of our masks, but you can add that value in for the client and then really up level what you're taking home at the end of that treatment by using these just really incredible products. So there's a lot of pieces that go into it, but 6 figures, I want to assure everybody listening, you can do that. Like, I promise you can do that, and we can take you above and beyond that for sure.
I love that. So there was a girl who I tagged you in, I think this morning, and she's like, I'm so booked, but her prices were like, she has room to grow. And I was like, let me tag Jessica, because I feel like you don't want to get stuck in that. You're like, I'm overbooked. I'm fully booked. I've done all the steps. Now what? It's really setting yourself up to success. One, either hire out, raise your prices. Like, there's so much room for growth, which is so exciting about the industry. And which gets me so excited to have someone like you in the group speaking to everybody, because you're like, look, I did it and I can teach you how.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who are ready to like get to 6 figures, or like at least ask questions, how would they contact you? How would they join the Legacy Collection? Because I know I totally ready to join.
I love it. So yeah, I have a couple things. One thing coming up next month that I created just for this group is a masterclass. It's going to be March 30th, and it's $22. So everybody can get in. It's $22. There's going to be really great tips and tricks in there, and that's really going to set you up for success with the rest of your year. So that's kind of an intro point, just to hear how the structure goes and how how I teach, and make sure it feels really aligned for you. I also have the Iconic SD, which is going to be a once-a-month program. And then for my clients who really desire more contact, which I'll be honest, for somebody really wanting to build and to get beyond 6 figures, once a month truly isn't enough, unless you know you're so self-sourced and you're going to take that information and activate and really be on it every day, and then come back the next month for the next tool. But I really have these different levels, because all of us are at different points, and what we need from it and want from a mentor is going to be different based on where we're at, and do we have kids, and what does our work day look like, and are we working a second job to supplement right now when we're not making the 6 figures in the first job. So I have a tiered structure of different offers, and it's kind of like an offer suite. That way you can take a look and see what feels the most aligned. And I also offer complimentary 15-minute calls, so we can jump on a Zoom and kind of talk about where you're at, and I can make a recommendation of what would be the best for you. But it really is something that has to be like a heck yes from within. Like, I don't love, anyone to join my program who isn't like, this is calling my name, and I know I'm made for so much more, and I just need some help getting there. And sometimes we know we are made for so much more, we're just not sure what steps to take. And that's where a mentor comes in and can be like, hey, I see these gaps, or I see this, or what about a membership for your clients? Or have you thought about hiring? I can kind of see those gaps, and it's because I've done it all. I was 23, I bought my spot, and I literally didn't know how I was going to cash my first paycheck. And I had staff, and they had to be able to cash their paycheck. Like, I didn't have to be able to, but they had to be able to. And, the first thing I did was hire a mentor. And this was 14 years ago. I worked with him for a year, and, I paid $800 a month back then, but it was the best thing I ever did, because it really pulled out the inner me who did know all of this information, but I was kind of afraid to step into it. Some of it I needed some guidance on. And really a big piece is just not doing things based on what we think other people are going to think, or based on fear. A lot of people operate or don't operate. There's like a lack of movement because you're kind of stuck in fear. And our body does that to protect us. But sometimes we need to say, it's okay, I've got this. Like, I'm going to step into the unknown, but I trust that I've got this.
Totally. So somebody asked, how do they sign up? So 1 second. Every time I do a live, I like to challenge everybody. So I challenge everybody to at least, so I'm a big believer is, if you're not ready to do the masterclass, not even in a year, or like, for example, if somebody wants to buy a home, you need to figure out how you're going to buy the home. So you need to like incorporate yourself, open up the bank account, blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
And years you do that. If you're not ready now, your challenge is to figure out what to do to get ready.
Mm-hmm.
So invite or challenge everybody to at least set up that 15-minute call, so that if you're not ready to do it, you should be getting ready to do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And it really is just kind of stepping outside your comfort zone, in the sense that you know, we can be not ready, and a year from now, we can be in the same place. Or we could say, okay, I'm going to take a leap of faith and make some changes. And it doesn't have to be necessarily joining me or purchasing XO8, but you know, deep within, like everyone watching this knows if they were made for something bigger than what they're doing today. And if the answer is yes, then it's really on you to say, okay, I'm going to make moves and steps in that direction, because no one's going to do it for us.
Roxanne asked, how do we sign up for the masterclass?
So the masterclass, I'm going to drop a link with the website. It'll also be promoted in the group twice this month, or the month of March, but I'll drop that link as soon as we're done. And there's just a link that you go on, pay the $22, and then you'll get added into a private group. And everybody who's there on that date, it's March 30th at 5 p.m. will be a part of the live class. If you can't make it live, you'll be able to watch the replay for 2 weeks post. So the benefit of being there live is if you ask any questions, I'll be able to answer them in real time. But if you watch the replay, you'll still, excuse me, you'll still get a ton out of it.
And then for those who, I mean, cause like when I first started, like I still knew I had so much more to learn. Like I still had to learn my trait, and I still had to figure out where I was going to work, because I wasn't solo, but I knew like I would like save everybody who I wanted to like work with, you know? How do they sign up for that 15-minute call, at least to like get ready?
Yeah, I can drop that link as well. And really it's going to be, you know, everything's customized in my world. So everything we offer with XO8 is all customized treatments. We offer onboarding calls. So anybody who's interested in XO8, you get this complimentary 30-minute onboarding call. We can answer all of your questions, help you really break down what's going to be best for your treatment room. And the same thing with the Legacy Collective is we really customize the program based around who's in it at the time and what they need. So it's not just like, there's a lot of great mentorship programs that are basically log in and watch all this content. And there's so much benefit to that. So if you're looking to learn, you know, different things about the skin, or really still kind of refining your craft, those are great options. But if you're looking for more of the business building and curating it to yourself, your lifestyle, if you have family, then we really do that through the Legacy Collective. And on that call, I can absolutely guide, you know, which direction will be the best for you based on your starting point, because we're all in different places.
Totally. I also want to encourage anybody, if they have questions, please feel free to ask. That's really what these lives are about. It's like,
Yeah.
Where do you get this? You know, where do you get to ask real like business building questions?
Yeah.
Where do you get clientele? You know, ask Jessica her story. So
yeah, and I am so open to that, because I didn't have that, you know, back when I became an esthetician 15 years ago, and I was working in the industry, I was working in LA on set doing makeup, and I decided to get licensed, and my whole world kind of pivoted. I decided I didn't want to work on set anymore. I really loved working with the client and then seeing the client again the next month. And on set, it was just different faces all the time. So I really dove into this industry because of that client relationship. And at the time, there just weren't a lot, excuse me, a lot of resources for us to ask these questions. So I really love the Money Making Esthetician for being such a great resource. And I love popping in and answering your guys' questions. When they're one-off questions, or you need one little tip or trick, I love it. If you're like, I need all of it, and I need to be in your world for 6 months, like to a year, and I need massive transformation, then that's what the mentorship's for. But for small questions, or if you're looking to kind of pivot little things in your business, I am so here for that.
I'm like, does anybody have questions?
Pop them in the chat if you do. Let's see, I think there's, okay, so yeah, how do we sign up? So I'll drop that link for the masterclass. Yeah, but I really, you know, it's a unique time that we have so much available to us. And I think that, you know, we have kind of the world at our fingertips to take advantage of all this different training and really step into who we know we were made to be. And a lot of people don't do that just because it's kind of hard work to do the consistent action every day, but it so pays off. Like, I am so grateful for all of the work I put into my business to end up where I'm at today. And that's how I have the job with XO8, and how the mentorship was formed is truly just because of all the work and the consistent action. So even if it's something small every day, really,
Totally.
you know, put your goal. I recommend taking like a dry erase marker, writing it on your mirror in your bathroom, somewhere you're super present to, and that you're going to see every day. Because people write down their goals in a book and then it's closed in a drawer and they're not even paying attention to it. It doesn't keep in the forefront of your mind. So if you have that written down, and even if every day it's 10 or 15 minutes of small actions, it adds up. But when we get overwhelmed and don't do anything, then nothing changes.
Totally. If you can go back and talk to yourself 10 years ago, what would you tell her?
This one makes me emotional, but I would tell myself, and for anybody listening in here with babies or kids, like I would say, take the time. Like the two best pieces of advice I have are setting boundaries with your clients. And that's a whole conversation in itself. And, you know, really being consistent with your boundaries. But the biggest beyond that is just take the time. Like I went back to work when my first was 8 weeks old. And I thought the world was going to end. My spa was going to implode. My clients weren't going to come back if I took off even one more day. And I laugh at myself now because that's so not the case, you know, and it was me needing to step into my power and really say, no, I'm going to take off this 3 or 6 months and I'm going to go back and my business is going to be fine. And I've set up all these systems in place for it to run when I'm not there, which hello, now I do that. But for some reason at that point, you know, my first 2 babies, I went back to work when they were 8 and 9 weeks old. And my daughter, I like never actually have officially gone back. Like I work in this treatment room 2 days a month and she has me home with her every day, you know? So it's just this huge mindset shift that I truly went through between my first two babies and my daughter was really, you don't get this time back. And even if you don't have kids, like you cannot be chained to your business. Like take the vacation, take the time, do the thing. And as long as you pre-plan and build it into your schedule, your clients will understand. They will be flexible. You know, now I have clients who move vacations because they happen to be scheduled to be out of town the same weekend that I'm in town and they don't want to miss me being there. So they move their trip. You know, it's such a compliment, but it's just a wild thing to think about that, you know, only 6 years ago, I felt like I couldn't take the time off. So my best piece of advice for anybody listening is to do the opposite of that. You know, really think about what's important to you and take the time for it, for sure.
Totally. I'm like, that's one of the beautiful parts of the group and having you in it. You're there for that, you know?
Yeah. And that's truly like, I would have to say, if there's one reason I created all this, it's that piece, because I really want the estheticians who are either just getting started out and they need that guidance, because I didn't have anybody to tell that to me. And I worked, you know, my first mentor, who I loved him, but he was a male. Like he didn't have any concept of setting up my business for success when I had babies. You know, that wasn't even on the radar. So it's really important to me to empower everyone listening and all the estheticians in this group to really prioritize what's important and make sure you don't let that go to the wayside because you're so strapped to your business and feeling like if you take off one day, you're going to lose that client. And that's really not the case. And if every now and then there's a client who you do lose, that probably means they were crossing boundaries. You know, when we're consistent with our boundaries and, you know, even days off, if I have people reach out, like, oh my gosh, I don't work Sundays, but this client will only come see me on Sunday. Well, then they're not your ideal client because you don't work Sundays, you know? So I don't believe in you know, if it doesn't affect your day-to-day and you're like, sure, I'll stay late one time, you know, like if it's okay with you and every now and then, sure. But you don't want to run a business where you're constantly having to go and do all this extra and then you feel like you don't have any time for self-care. Like I'm a huge believer that we can't just be the esthetician offering the incredible red carpet treatment and then not taking care of ourselves.
Totally.
I heavily encourage everybody in here to, I call it a Queen's Day, but take one day a week. That's like your reset, not like a day off to be with the babies or a day off to be with your husband or a day off to do the books for your business, but like a true day off for you.
Oh my gosh.
Really just pouring into yourself.
Let's start a thread where we talk about Queen's Day.
Yeah, I love that. Let's do it.
So if anybody wants to ask Jessica some questions, you guys again are more than welcome to. And if not, we're going to add all the resources today. We will be doing another live in March. So in the meantime, I think between now and March, you guys should set up your 15-minute call because we can answer all your questions and do all the lives. But if you don't put action in, you're not going to get where you want to go.
And that's really what it is. Like, it is that consistent action, and we can have these really great ideas. Like, I know some of you are probably listening and like, oh yeah, I need to do this, I need to do that. But if you put that piece of paper down and you walk away from your phone or the computer, wherever you're watching this, and you don't come back to it, then none of that stuff changes. You know, and I ran my business in a way for many years that didn't really feel good. And now I run it in a way, and even before, you know, even when I was still working in my spa 4 or 5 days a week, I got down to it, to a science where it was just a really great experience. And I didn't feel like I was working. Like, I really genuinely loved every day. And I didn't have that stress looming of, you know, bills or numbers or finances. Like, it's really setting your goal. So is that getting things more streamlined, or, you know, what is that for you? What does it look like for you to get your business where it feels really good? And then that's what we work on. Thought there was a question, but I don't see one. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, you can drop them into the chat too, that we'll have, you know, underneath this video. I can dialogue in there. I'll put the link for you to schedule calls. If you want to sign up to be an XO8 Premier provider, I cannot recommend that enough for you. Honestly, like, that was a huge game changer for my business. We did a big launch event, huge success in sales. And if that's something you're interested in, that I can help you with through XO8, and that you wouldn't even have to sign up under the mentorship for that. So if you're looking to launch a new line and you're interested in XO8, I can help you with that. Absolutely.
Okay, well, if there's no more questions, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
You will see Jessica tagged 100 times in the group. I really want to do the Queen's Day thread, because I feel like just seeing how other people self-care are really pushing that. This is so encouraging. I love when people feel encouraged.
Yes.
I'm so happy.
And that's what I want, because I think we hear this like, oh, it takes 2 to 3 years to build your business, or you don't get to take time off, or you're chained to your business. Like, we hear a lot of that as female entrepreneurs, and I just don't subscribe to that. And I truly have built up and watched other people build successful businesses and not subscribe to that either. So it's really a mindset shift.
So
Yeah, and I'll drop the links for the programs. Thank you. I will do that for sure.
It would also be in the event page and pinned to the top of the group. So everything important is pinned to the top. Yeah, I hope you guys stay encouraged. Please do that 15-minute call, at least the both of you are interested, just to see where to go. What do I do? Also, will there be available for replay? I came in halfway. There will, yes, it's been recorded. It's going to send out via newsletter. It's the website, which is themoneymakingst.com. And it will also be pinned to the top of the group.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Maria. I always love chatting with you, and I love everything you're doing. It's just an honor to be here today.
Oh, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. And thank you everybody who attended. And I look forward to chatting with you guys on the 15-minute call.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.